So we're starting with Raider, which is supposed to be just numerical buffs. So what did we get? The Way of the Poacher got a maximum frenzy charge? That was somewhere else, right? Wasn't that behind it at 4, whatever that is? Yeah, it was. Okay. So that's fine. 4's the same. No, it's not. 4 is a number change. That used to be 2% attack speed, 2% movement speed, and 3% attack damage. It's now 8% evasion, which is a new line, 3% movement speed, 3% attack speed, and 8% damage. That's cool. Quartz Infusion, which was just our phasing one. That used to be 6% chance to dodge attacks, so that's just been buffed a little, and it's got some nomical amount of increased elemental damage, which doesn't excite me at all. Everything else there's the same. Avatar of the Veil is the immune one. Yes. Cool. I'm sending dance to the... Oh, those two lines are new. And it lost its elemental damage. Oh, right. Okay, so its elemental damage went there. But these two lines are new. Nearby enemies have fire, cold, and lightning exposure while you have phasing, applying -15 to those elements. That might be the first time we've seen an exposure happen more than one element at a time. Also, nearby enemies have 15% less accuracy. That's new. That's cool. Well, we get Rapid Assault, so that's the up one, which used to be gain Onslaught on 10 seconds, basically. Which is still the same, except it's got 5% chance to evade attacks, just chucked on top of it. Minor Node slightly nerfed, not sure of the point in that. They took 5% Onslaught away from it for some reason. They kept 100% Onslaught effect on the last one? Okay. And they buffed the other 3 lines. Those all used to be 20%. 30% more chance to evade melee attacks, 30% more chance to evade projectile, 30% increased. Okay, I mean, decent buffs, but there's nothing exciting here, right? Like, it's just exposure and less accuracy is cool, but I guess I shouldn't really be disappointed. Like, it's just a little bit of excuse me, it's just a little bit of numerical change. It's not really like, it hasn't enabled anything, is what I mean to say. Like, whatever you were running as a raider, you will still run with a raider. No new builds exist because of this, and your other builds are just a little bit stronger than they were. Honestly, as much as it's not exciting, Raider wasn't bad before. It was just, in every instance, it was just edged out by someone else. So, not exciting, but it's probably what proper balance looks like. It really wasn't bad. It was just a tiny bit worse than the other things in every case. And now it might be an option in certain cases. So I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'm okay with it. Alright, now let's have a look at the fun one that we're excited about, shall we? Hello, beautiful. How you doing? How you doing? Okay, so 2 was born in the shadows. 2 was born in the shadows, so what did we get out of that? Nothing? That's exactly the same. Okay, moving on. 4. You gain 4% area of effect. That is technically a numerical nerf, but probably a huge buff, right? For each mine? Wait, that's not where that was. Yeah, I will after I've gone through it first. It's not even where that was though. It was on the next one and it had 8%. But we've got a way higher mine count now. So that could end up being a buff. Even though it looks like a numerical nerf. I don't think it is. What did we get? The demolition specialist behind it also used to have increased mine arming speed and 20% chance to place an additional. And now it has... Ooh. Increase effect of auras from your mines. And mines hinder enemy for 2 seconds when they land, reducing movement speed by 40%. Ooh. Ooh. Interesting. But perhaps more interesting is that they've moved the important, what I would say like maybe must-have stuff to the front here. Meaning, while this is interesting, you don't need to take it. So that's cool. Alright, what do we got? Pyromaniac. Pyromaniac now has immune to ignite and shock, like normal, although in 1 line instead of 2 lines. Lol. Regenerate the same as... Ooh. Ooh. Not the same. Regenerate not the same. They gutted my regen. They halved my regen. Well, I'm not sure that that was necessary. I'm not sure that that was necessary at all. 20% reduced mana cost of skills that throw traps. 20% reduced mana reservation of skills that throw mines. Okay. Look. What's the name of that wand that I really loved to use with mines? Shimmeron? Is it? The one that hurts you? That one's going to be a bit more difficult, especially if you want to be dual wielding them. That's going to be a bit more of a problem than it used to be. But if you're not using those, 10% is probably fine. Like, it's only 1 layer of the defenses. It's probably still fine, and you're probably going to take it anyway because immune to ignite and shock and 20% reduced cost of your skills. I don't know. I mean, you might not need reduced cost. Huh. It might be that this is now an option, like a good one still, but it might be that it's now an option instead of a forced, you will have this node. So that's good. Right. Perfect Crime used to be cooldown recovery, 8% damage, and 20% trapped trigger rotational time, which it is still now. Chain reaction, the only important ones was your nearby traps will also trigger. That remained the same, and everything else remained the same. They didn't touch it. Okay. That's fine. Explosive experts, what did you get? That's new. There's some different shit on there. Used to be 20% area of effect, 20% area damage, and 10 pen. It reduces damage taken from trap and mine hits, which we can just ignore because that did nothing. We'll just ignore that part. So it is now 30% increased area of effect. 8% reduced area damage taken from hits. So that's a buff to your area, but a nerf to the defensive part. But then... Jesus. It kept the 10 pen, but it went against chilled enemies only. 80% critical strike chance against shocked enemies, and 30 crit multi against burning enemies. Ooh. Well, burning and chill are really easy to add to anything. But also, the skitterbot is shock and chill, right? So that's, as long as you're near enough to something, we don't know how big that aura is yet, but as long as you're near enough to them, you're getting 80% crit and 10% pen. That's cool. Alright, I can already tell from looking at this that there's going to be a buttload of crying, whiny babies crying about this bit right here, which, to be fair, I don't really think it was necessary to knock that down, but I also don't think it'll change anything. So if everyone could put their salty tears away, I think it's still fine. 10% is fine. Dual wielding Shimmerons might be a little bit more dodgy than it was before. But yeah, I'm on board. I will definitely be making a Sab. I suspect that some of the things that has been taken away from Sab here, because this is like, if this was the only change, if we were just changing Sab and changing nothing about mines, you would call this a nerf. This is overall less powerful than it was before, but it's now got more options for us to pick between, whereas it used to be these are your 4 ascendancies and the only option you have is what order you're going to take them in. That used to be, if you made a miner, especially on League Start, you would either go blind or regen as your first lab, and then you would pick the other one from Cruel, and then you would go down the mine path to demolition specialist, and that was it. That is every miner. That's it. Now there's a bunch of options. So I love that. Also, I'm looking at it like, there's a lot of options here, but if mines still work really, really well on a Saboteur, then I can probably make mines work on something else as well now, because nothing here is build defining for mines. Like, it's not, if you don't have this, you won't be able to play it. So again, they've done that thing that I like, where they've sort of made it possible to do mines as something else, instead of like shoehorning me into this exact thing. So I'm hoping that the readjustment and buff of mines themselves in this league will make up for the power loss here, and probably and then some, to be honest. It will probably be much better than it was. And people will start making miners that aren't Saboteurs, which will be cool, although I still think Saboteur will be the best generic way to do it, but at least we've opened up the options. So, big fan. Big fan. Alright. Done.